Rest isn't laziness, it's strategic nervous system recovery. Welcome to day 31. I'm Dr. Nicole. It's been great to have you on the journey this far. Today, we're talking about something that might challenge everything you've been taught about productivity. Rest is not the opposite of productivity, it's the foundation of it. If you're someone who feels guilty every time you sit down, who equates your worth with your output, who thinks rest is something you have to earn, this video is going to revolutionize how you think about rest, productivity, and success. Let's start with the hard truth. Productivity addiction is often trauma in disguise. Many of us learned early on that our worth was tied to what we could produce, what we could achieve, how much we could handle. We learned that love was conditional on performance, that rest was selfish, that our value came from what we put out. This creates what I call productivity trauma, the deep seated belief that you're only worthy when you're doing something useful. You feel guilty sitting still. You feel anxious when you're not checking things off of a list. You feel like you're wasting time if you're not being productive. But here's what productivity culture doesn't tell you: your nervous system wasn't designed to be on all the time. Your brain wasn't designed to be constantly stimulated. Your body wasn't designed to be in perpetual motion. When you operate without rest, you're essentially running your system on fumes. You might be busy, but you're not effective. You might be moving, but you're not making progress. You might be doing, but you're not creating anything meaningful. Rest isn't the enemy of productivity, burnout is. Here's what happens when you actually rest: your clarity increases. When your mind isn't constantly processing tasks and information, it can actually think. You can see the bigger picture, make better decisions, and solve problems more effectively. Then your intuition strengthens. Feminine wisdom comes through stillness, not busyness. When you're constantly in motion, you can't hear your inner voice. When you rest, you can access the deep knowing that guides you toward the right choices. Then it's your creativity. It starts to flow. The best ideas don't come when you're focusing on them. They come in the shower, on walks, during quiet moments when your mind is free to wander and make new connections. Think about it. When do you get your best ideas? When you're frantically working at your computer, or when you're relaxed, maybe taking a bath or lying in bed? Rest creates the mental space necessary for innovation, for insight, and for inspiration. It's not unproductive, it's actually where productivity is born. This is especially important for women because feminine energy literally regenerates through rest. Masculine energy is sustained through action, through achievement, and forward momentum. A feminine energy is sustained through stillness, reflection, and restoration. When you're constantly in go mode, you're operating in masculine energy. And while there's nothing wrong with masculine energy, if it's your only mode, you will most certainly burn out. Feminine energy is cyclical, not linear. It ebbs and flows. It needs periods of expansion and periods of contraction. It needs times of giving and times of receiving. Rest is how you honor the cyclical nature of feminine energy. It's how you allow yourself to contract so you can expand again. It's how you empty so you can be filled. When you rest, you're not being lazy, you're being feminine. You're honoring your natural rhythms instead of forcing yourself into an unnatural pace. Now, let's distinguish between productive rest and avoidance because they are not the same thing. Productive rest is intentional. It's choosing to pause because you recognize that rest will actually serve your overall goals and well being. Avoidance is using rest to escape from responsibilities, difficult emotions, or challenging situations. Productive rest feels nourishing. You feel restored afterwards. Avoidance often feels numbing. You feel more depleted afterward. Productive rest includes things like taking a nap when you're genuinely tired, going for a walk to clear your head, sitting quietly to process your emotions, taking a bath to relax your nervous system, reading for pleasure, spending time in nature. Avoidance might look like scrolling social media for hours, binge watching TV to avoid dealing with problems, sleeping excessively just to escape reality, using rest as procrastination. The key is intention and awareness. Are you resting to restore yourself, Or are you resting to avoid something? Here's how to start resting without guilt. First, reframe rest as an investment. You're not being lazy, you're investing in your future self, your future creativity, and your future well being. Schedule rest like you schedule meetings. Put it on your calendar. Treat it as a non negotiable. You wouldn't skip an important meeting. I know you wouldn't. So don't skip your rest time. Start small. If taking a whole day off feels impossible, start with 20 minutes. Take a short walk. Sit quietly with tea or just breathe deeply. And then notice the results. Pay attention to how you feel after rest. Notice how much more creative, focused, and effective you are when you're well rested. Remember that rest is very feminine. In a world that glorifies masculine energy, choosing rest is a radical act of feminine reclamation. Set boundaries around your rest. Don't let other people's urgency become your emergency. Protect your rest time like you would protect anything else that's important to you. Here's what happens when you start prioritizing rest. Your decision making improves because your mind is clear. Your relationships improve because you're more present and less reactive. Your work improves because you're more creative and focused. You become a model for other women who are also struggling with productivity addiction. You show them that it's possible to be successful without sacrificing your well being. You start operating from abundance instead of scarcity. Instead of feeling like there's never enough time, you start feeling like you have enough time for what really matters. Here's some practical ways to incorporate rest into your life. Micro rests, 5 to 10 minute breaks throughout the day to breathe, stretch, or just sit quietly. A weekly rest ritual, one longer period each week dedicated to restoration, maybe a long bath, a nature walk, or an afternoon nap. Seasonal rest, longer periods of rest during natural transition times, maybe a few days off between projects or a longer vacation. Then there's the daily wind down. This is a consistent evening routine that helps you transition from work mode to rest mode. Remember, rest is not earned through exhaustion. Rest is a basic human need like food and water. Rest fuels results. That's the bottom line. When you're well rested, you're more creative, more focused, more intuitive, and more effective. Stop apologizing for needing rest. Stop feeling guilty for taking breaks. Stop equating your worth with your productivity. Your rest is productive. Your stillness is powerful. Your restoration is revolutionary. Hit subscribe for day 32, where we're talking about how to inspire devotion in a man, the feminine energy that creates lasting love. Tell me in the comments, what's one way you're going to prioritize rest this week? Don't forget to also subscribe to the podcast, The Secret Formula of Femininity, where we have more in depth weekly episodes that go into these topics in more detail. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Dr. Nicole.